Top of the morning folks, today from the Reddit Rainforest. What's your most audacious sex story? I got a hotel room with some friends and my girlfriend. After a while my GF and I were trying to get some alone time, so we figured we'd just go to the car. My bright idea was to park in the corner of the parking garage thinking no one would bother us. Well, as soon as we start getting frisky and butt naked, security knocks on the window. So as I'm rushing to get some pants on, I pulled the door open prematurely and I fall onto the parking garage floor with my pants halfway up. So I'm squirming on the floor trying to cover my junk and security can't not help but laugh. He must have thought that was punishment enough because he just asked us to leave after that. Loved car 6 when I was younger. Epic days when it was raining and duck in a random mall parking lot. Security guards rarely get out of their cars when it's raining. I was fingered in line at Chipotle. Please give us this story. My ex-boyfriend and I were just in line and he was joking around and squeezed my butt. Then I just felt his hand at my waistline and I did not stop him. The place was pretty busy / crowded and with the half wall that was put up to separate the line from the seating area, nobody even noticed. I had a girlfriend one Halloween start riding my dick raw on her parents' couch. What made it ducking awesome was the fact that her father was walking around the house. And when she heard him coming she would hop off and throw a blanket over us. What makes it even better is it only happened because I jokingly pointed at a hole in her pajamas and said if we tear that a bit I could probably fit my dick in it. I guess she liked the idea. That one time I started hooking up with a girl in the back of a taxi on our way to her place on Halloween. We were really drunk and just in the mood. And the taxi driver did not care. Think he enjoyed the show from his rearview mirror as he kept peeking back from time to time. That and the pretty nice tip I gave him afterwards for the best taxi ride I ever had probably helped. What kind of taxi driver does not care about bodily fluids messing up his seats? Surprisingly, he just never said anything during the entire ride or to stop. And for most of the ride was essentially foreplay, making out, pulling her tits out, getting handsy up her tiny costume / dress / panties. Only had pib briefly before we arrived at her place and did not come. At her door, I noticed that he was around for a bit before driving off. Maybe he was checking out the seat. Or maybe he was hoping for an invite. Who knows? I was sat on the back of the bus with my girlfriend. Hand went into her jeans and she quietly had a thoroughly enjoyable orgasm. As we got up to leave, the man reading his paper a short distance away rustled it and gave us a look of disgust. Nice of him not to interrupt while it happened though. I used to date a girl who lived a fair distance away when I was younger and I would go down to her home for a weekend every 2 weeks. Obviously, by the time we met up we were quite horny and usually leapt straight into bed. This one time, we met up late on at a family function. She was already in attendance. The idea was, we would do the family thing and then head to the local nightclub before back to hers. By the end of the family function, we had some time before the club opened, so we went for a walk along the nearby riverbank. One thing led to another, and we had intensely passionate sex. Right there on the riverbank. It was hot. It was exciting, and we were entirely lost in one another, which made it all the more surprising when we finished and looked up, only to find the club car park had filled with people queuing to get in who passed the time waiting by watching us have sex in full view from their elevated position. Clear night sky. Lots of light around us anyway. Sigh. They saw everything. Reminds me of my first boyfriend and me. We lived 2 counties away and neither of us had a car at first, so we had to take a 7-hour bus ride to visit each other for a weekend / holiday. Once every month or so. We were both teenagers and lived at home, so there was constantly someone acting as guard. We had to take advantage of every single chance alone we could get. And boy, did we ever. Every time we met it was an uncontrollable blast of lust-filled dynamite. As soon as he'd get off the bus we'd find the first place that looked private enough. There were public bathrooms, parks, under beach boardwalks, train tracks, the trunk of a friend's car. It was fantastic. Yikes. The public bathrooms after a night out in a club. That is something that I cannot wipe from my memory. Even now, 20 odd years later, I still feel disgusted by just being in there, let alone having sex. How we mostly use the family bathrooms at the mall, which were always exceptionally clean as far as public bathrooms are concerned, because the bus that we took to my house from the Greyhound station stopped there. I remember one of our little mall trysts involved chocolate pudding. It was his favorite food, and luckily none of it got on the floor, because I can only imagine what the janitor might have thought. My 21st birthday was a gangbang. How did you go about planning that? My ex at the time planned it for me. I gave them a list of people I was interested in. They confirmed who was available / willing / had clear test results. There were friends who were there just to celebrate / spectate too. Luckily I'm in a large community of kinky / poly / queer / etc folks, so it was all people I knew and trusted. I was spending the night in a hotel with 2 guys and this girl from the area that I was friends with. After dinner we smoked some weed and hung out in the room. One of the guys started FaceTiming people, so we made him sit in the bathroom cause it's annoying. I end up lying in bed next to the girl and we're just staring into each other's eyes. The other guy who was still in the room went to go check on the FaceTime dude. We quickly forgot about them and started getting down to business. I'm in the middle of giving her head when the guy who went to check came out and started walking towards the door to give us some space, and before he can take a third step FaceTime dude grabs him in a bear hug, lifts him off the ground and yells "You're cock blocking." Then he proceeds to throw him back in the bathroom and he locks them both in there. So I took that as the go ahead and we had very loud sex for a while. We finished up and I went to go let them out of the bathroom and I thought we were all good. We made some jokes. Apparently he thought we were done at one point and he saw my dick. But we went to sleep and everything was alright. Until we were leaving our room in the morning and we see a large Mexican family coming out of the room that shares the wall by the beds. The parents looked horrified and we just quickly walked away. I have hotel story too. My boyfriend and I decided to have a threesome with one of my friends. We rented a hotel room for the night, smoked some weed in the parking lot, then got a bit drunk. My boyfriend and I both vape. We trying to quit right now, but they only had non-smoking rooms as the whole hotel. We opened the window and blew our clouds through the screen. Well, cause I was drunk at one point I forgot I laid down on the bed and hit the vape hole bunch times. Smoke went straight to the ceiling to the fire alarm. The alarms start going off and we all panic. The phone ringed and they ask what happened at the front desk. My boyfriend said he accidentally fired his vape in his pocket. Not believable at all. But everything is okay. Nothing is on fire. I look outside and the alarm's going off in the whole hotel. Every room. Few confused looking people going downstairs. A few minimum later a fireman in full gear coming. Straight for our room. We explain again what we said to the front desk. I'm shocked they never changed us extra for that. But yeah, fun night. Girlfriend jerked me off in the trunk of her parents' station wagon while they were driving us to see a movie. It was crazy. Trunk? Yeah, back in the day those kind of vehicles had fold up extra seats in the far back that were rear facing. I was a touring musician throughout my 20s, so I have a few. My favorite one to tell is the night I judged a blowjob contest backstage at a show between my girlfriend, a fan, and our bass player. My girlfriend won, but there were no losers that night. I have had roadhead several times, a couple of those times in broad daylight. But probably the wildest thing I was ever lucky enough to experience was ducking my girlfriend, now wife, at a national historical site in the south when we were dating. It was in a rural area and no one else was there while we were, so I guess it was not all that crazy. We went to the wooded area just behind it, bent her over, and went to town. There is something incredibly amazing about being exposed like that outdoors, but more so at a place where someone could have driven up. The Reddit Rainforest will give free roadhead to anyone who likes and subscribes. Had sex with 4 women in the same day. I was newly separated, had a casual GF, but did not really like her personality. Had a FWB situation with a girl renting an apartment next to the house I'd been living in. Met a new girl at work. I was the third for a married couple who loved MFM threesomes. Casual GF and I had 6 after I left the gym in the afternoon. Girl I met at work asked to meet up at her day job. We had sex in her office. Ducked the neighbor in her apartment. She passed out and I headed to my friend's place when the wife texted me saying they were expecting me when I got done at the neighbor's. I was able to pull off that stunt a few more times, but it was just too crazy to keep going for much longer. Casual GF got tired of me procrastinating. Neighbor girl was fun but a really bad drunk. New girl and I got together long term and still have occasional group sex with the married couple. I was in Las Vegas for a business trip by myself and decided to go to the casino to gamble before I left the next morning. I ended sitting at the table and drinking more than I should have because I was winning playing blackjack. I finally called it a night and went back to my room and there were these 2 good-looking girls sitting in the hallway outside their door. I said hello and they replied hello back. I asked if they had fun and they told me they lost their money and were looking for something to do. I offered them drinks in my room since I was leaving on a plane the next day and could not take my booze with me. After a while I found out they were lesbians and we were just talking about random topics all night, as in getting ready to call it a night and kick them out. One of them asks me if I would like to duck her girlfriend. a bit taken back. I did not know what to say, but she said her girlfriend was really horny and she likes to watch her girlfriend get banged by guys every now and then. Her girlfriend and I got into it and eventually she joined in making a threesome. We all finished and they left. Still cannot remember their names. But that is Vegas for you, right? Whilst visiting Krakow, Poland on business, I met an artist in a club. My Polish was not nearly as good as her English, but we hit it off. Drinks, dancing, singing, and to this day the best BJ I ever received. In the ladies' lounge of the club. Yes, the ladies' restroom. She took me by the hand and led me to a stall. She pulled down my denim and proceeded to orally please me. After a minute or so I noticed that other women were watching intently. I tried my best to inform my Eastern European friend that others were watching with great interest. Her eyes fixed for a second on the others, and in lieu of stopping she only picked up the pace. I closed my eyes and went with the flow as it were. I still see her at least twice a year. Welcome to the end of the video. Do not worry, there are many more. Come aboard for more adventures. Like and subscribe for more posts from the Reddit Rainforest. Thanks for watching.